Hello, welcome to Sketch Day Live. Happy Sunday. Hope you're well, healthy, and all the good things. It's been a busy time for me. Still working on my big project. Patrons know what's up. We are live on Behance and Twitch and YouTube. So still can't figure out the Facebook thing. So not really messing with that right now. But yeah, we're gonna do some sci-fi stuff today. I hope that's cool. Well, it doesn't really matter because that's what I'm doing. Hello, David. What's up? We're just getting started. So, oh, I forgot my camera is attached to my desk. I need to figure that out somehow. All right. I feel like my brain is slow today, so bear with me. But I'll warm up while people show up. Get a little warm up going. If you have any questions, I love questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to question away. In the meantime, we'll get drawing. Also, let me know if there's any audio visual issues. I did a workshop yesterday and there were a couple little hiccups, so oh, watching the F1. I don't follow F1. I've never really gotten into it, so before we begin though, I'm gonna do a little quick pitch here. So you know, you all have questions a lot. This is the Sketch Day website. So there's resources for you here that are available for purchase, but also there's a list of videos that cover a variety of topics. Not everything's there. I still need to go through and add a few clips here and there. There's information about things like pencils or pens, for example. So all the different types of pens I use, how I use them, if you're interested in workshops, and so on. A little bit about me, and a little page of sketches as well. I need to add some more here, but yeah, so that's the Sketch Day website. If you're interested, check that out. But let's get sketchy. Let's get drawing. All right. Still trying to figure out my lighting situation. I think I need, you see this side of the screen's a little bit shadowed. I think I need a light shining this way. And I'll have to try that out this week, see how it goes. All right. Enough talk, let's draw. What would you do every day to practice to improve your drawing skills? Yeah, I can go over that real quick. That'd be a good warm-up for myself as well. So I'm going to do my standard warm-up, then I'll answer Joe's fantastic question about what I would do to practice every day. Hey, Gareth. Hey, RB. What's up? Ooh, looks like Gareth is doing some 3D stuffs. 3D stuffs. Wait, I forgot. I should... Hold up. I should post this in the Adobe Live Discord. I totally forgot. Oh, here we go. Okay, maybe we'll have some people join in. So yeah, fantastic question. I will answer that. Hey, Hiro. If my pens cooperate today. All right, so the first exercise, straight lines. I swear by this. You can mix it up too if you want to do curve lines or whatever, but try to just do pages of straight lines. And actually, like, try. Sometimes I get a little bit lazy, so let's actually try here. Not everyone warms up before drawing. I try to, just to get my muscles going. Notice my paper is at an angle too. That kind of just helps me since I'm drawing with my shoulder. Let's see if this works. Okay. Helps me so when I'm drawing with my shoulder, I can get the best line possible. I'm gonna move my Wacom out of the way a little bit here. Gareth, you're welcome to model any of my stuff in 3D. Or you warm up connecting dots with straight lines. Oh, okay, cool, cool. Hold on, let me lock this focus. I really should get a different camera. Hard to justify though. They're so expensive. They're so expensive. All right, and so the next exercise is circles. And I usually shoot for about 2 to 3 inches in diameter. I guess these are more like 2 inch, 2.5. 3 inch would be like that. You just want to get those muscles warm, right? Yeah, I'm gonna be doing. Someone had a request for like someone in a spacesuit, so I think I'll do that, and then maybe a spaceship or something like that. Oh no, I did a spaceship last time. Maybe a robot. Not that you can't do spaceships. I wonder how many circles I've drawn in my life. I wonder. I mean, there's what, 15 on this page or so? Times multiple pages, each warm-up times however many years. Why don't you warm up on the iPad to not waste paper? I'm actually being quite efficient with my one sheet of paper here, which is what I try to do. Paper sketching feels different than tablet sketching, and you can develop some nasty habits with tablet sketching that I try to avoid. So I try to recycle my paper and also use both sides. So great question, Bravo. Hey Tom, how are you doing? The resistance you feel on an iPad screen is different than paper. If you love drawing on iPad, go for it. I still warm up on my iPad, but that's if I plan on drawing on the iPad anyways. I'm good. It's a chill Sunday. It's rainy here today. All right, and then ellipses. So you can use the circles, or if you prefer, you can draw like straight lines and then do some ellipses. Good morning, Adriana. Hello, hello. I'm just doing pen sketching today, pen and markers. Did anyone order the new Mac Studio, Apple's new computer, and successfully get it? I didn't order a Mac Studio, but I did decide to decided to upgrade my laptop. It's about 2.5 years old. That was a weird period for Apple. Like, all their laptops had these like major issues, but you kind of just lived with the issues. And now it would seem they fixed everything. So it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna upgrade. So like I said, you can reuse your paper. Do a variety of exercises here. So yeah, I got a laptop. At least I ordered it. It'll be here eventually. It's the M1 Max 16-inch. Hey, Vegeta. M1 Max 16-inch laptop. That's what I got. All right. So there was a good question earlier. Hopefully you're still around, Joe. But what to practice? Oh, there you are. I can also answer that one. So as far as like what to practice if you're just starting out, I highly recommend doing primitive shapes, boxes. Yeah, that one's off. So it'll help you like fine tune things like that. Get in the habit of doing primitives. Right, play with operations on those primitives. So what happens when you cut a cone like that? Or what happens if you have a cylinder intersecting your cone, right? What would that line look like? It's probably going to be, let me see if I can remember. It's probably going to be something like this. There's a way to calculate it, but it's probably going to be something like that, right? So you can play with stuff like that. This is what I would consider to be focusing more on combinations rather than precision. So if I wanted to continue this rectilinear shape, for example, what would that look like? So I would recommend practicing a lot of these form combinations. It's going to help you work on your perspective. You know, you can even play with your line weights and trying to figure out what looks best or what works best for you. Generally, I stick to about 3 line weights. In this case, I'm just using the same pen. Okay, you can even throw in a little background element. Anyhow, I used to do pages and pages of this stuff. Or it might be, you know, random organic shapes. Because this is kind of the foundation for, hey, if you want to draw a picture, for example, maybe make a little picture, kettle, whatever. Right. So there was a question, how do you make it look professional and what do you do first? What I try to do is figure out my form, then divide that form, and then beautify it. So figure out the general shape that it's going to take up on the page, add those functional elements, and then divide stuff. All right. So professionalism, I mean, that's a good question. I think it's going to relate to some liquid in there or something. It's going to relate to kind of your style and how you like to draw. I tend to be a little bit more loose with my sketches than precise. And I like to sketch quickly. I don't like to spend a lot of time on illustrations. I mean, the streams here being the you like my abnegation. I'm gonna look that up. Oh, act of renouncing or rejecting something. All right. Thank you, Vegeta. So yeah, since you draw so many products or items, is there a standard procedure on what to draw before others to make the item look good? So it's really a 3-step process, and I do workshops on this. Form, divide, and then beautify. And this can happen, you know, I'll use the gray marker. sometimes, or it's rough sketch, and then ultimately you kind of do your final sketch. But the divide kind of goes into that final in the sense that I'm breaking things up into their functional elements as I work. If I ever paint, do I warm up as well with brushes? I don't do real paint. I do iPad paint if I'm painting, and if I'm doing iPad paint, I will warm up with lines. So yeah, that's how I do it. Hello, Cheryl. Okay, back to what I was saying in terms of basics. So do lots of exercises like this where you draw shapes, because these shapes can easily become other things. You know, if I wanted to draw an architectural structure, it was kind of funky. Right, it's just a matter of maybe combining, adding some other shapes. Before you know it, you have a structure. So don't underestimate the value in the simple exercises. And of course, your precision will help drive how detailed it is. I'm gonna take this hat off, it's like super hot. So yeah, I hope that helps answer the question of, you know, what to practice. Yeah, there's some tall glass doors here, and a balcony or something. But you get the idea. At least I hope you get the idea. If there's materials, you can do a lot with a pen. Is my point. You can do a lot with a pen. You don't have to have the fancy tools and the fancy stuff to make something look decent. All right, so like I said, I want to do some sort of astronaut looking character thing today. That was a request, so let's do it. I'm gonna resize my little thingamajigger here. It's kind of big. Oops, wrong one. Where are you? There you are. Let's make that small. Just throw it down here. Keep it out of the way. I'm doing this on the fly, so hopefully I don't mess up too much here. Normally I would set this up before the stream. Okay, a little bit cleaner. There we go. So I had fun with the ink last time, if you remember this. So I think I'm going to try it again. Do some India ink. And little character. I am going to look up some reference just to see what's in a spacesuit or on a spacesuit. Could also look up diving suits too, though. These are really interesting. The like arms come out the front all weird. Apparently I left a marker uncapped. You never do that. So I'm just using this, what's this, a green-gray marker. I posted this to TikTok. By the way, I am on TikTok now, so I'm posting just mostly like quick time-lapse stuff, some life stuff, things that are happening if I'm working on projects. I'm going to record a quick little project this week. I'll share that. So the cool thing about using the markers here is you can kind of rough out what you want to do before you commit to doing it. It's pretty handy if, like me, I'm not the best at drawing people, but I can do enough if I practice, but is this one going to be cut off? I think it is going to be cut off. Maybe. Actually, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. All right, so I got my rough sketch here, and go ahead and do a little head. And then I'll figure out all the part divisions. So this would be the first step of like form. And so now I'm going to divide this form. I'll start adding elements here. You know, maybe there's some sort of, they always seem to have panels on their chest. I don't know why, but they always seem to. Alright, or maybe it's, I don't know if they have pockets on the front. Do they even have pockets? Kind of figuring out boots and stuffs. But again, the gray marker is just a great way to do this because I'm not committing to anything final here. And once the contrast sets in, then what's the color code of the marker? This is a weird marker. It is an Ohuhu marker. Sorry, this light's so bright. It's like either too bright or too dim. This is an Ohuhu marker, and it is GG020. GG020 is the code of this particular marker. This arm feels a little bit long, so I'm going to cut that, but I'll do that with the pen itself. Am I listed on TikTok as Sketchaday? I am Sketchaday, DOTCOM, same as Instagram. I know I didn't grab the account name fast enough, so the link should be in the video description here on YouTube, but there it is again. All right, apologies, Behancers. I wasn't paying attention there. All right, I'm not really feeling this, so I'm gonna do the other side. I'm gonna do another one on the other side. The pose and position's a little bit awkward, so I'm gonna fix that. Like he's like leaning forward a little bit too much, so. Do I use Kuro color markers? I have some, I think, that I got sent forever ago. I got some sent to me forever ago, but I haven't like been using them, you know. Feeling this a little bit better about this one. I'll probably do something with the helmet here. Maybe have them looking directly at us instead. Body slightly twisted. Still do the box on the front. Maybe some sort of propulsion booster thing here. And I never know what to do with the hands. I'm like, do I just, you know, have this dude just kind of standing around? Dude, dudette, whatever. Still have our pockets and whatnot. This guy looks jacked. Maybe his name is Jack. Astronaut Jack.
Am I in your way here? Yeah, you have to move a little further down. Okay. Am I in your way here? Yeah, you have to move a little further down. Okay.
All right. This feels a little bit better. So I will run with this. Sketching a circle in perspective is the most complicated. You mean an ellipse? That's why you warm up, man. That's why you warm up. All right, hopefully I don't spill the ink on my computer again this time. That was nerve-wracking last week. So nerve-wracking. It's like, ah! Maybe this suit is like robotic in some way. So I think his head's a little bit low here, but maybe a little small. Sketching a circle in perspective is just an ellipse. So it just depends on the relative position that you're viewing the circle. And your axis will always go through the center of the circle to the vanishing point. That's how it works. All right, let's go. I don't even have stuff to clean up, so this will be a little bit dicey. Just a little dicey. Thanks, Lulia on Behance. What's up? Oh, for beginners, it's hard. Yeah, it takes practice. It takes practice for sure. But if you do a little bit every day, it gets easier. For sure. Woo! Barely missed my drawing there. Like, I love using this stuff because the inks are just so cool. But it can get messy. gonna try and go a little bit faster than I did last time. How do I stay motivated to draw? I think balance is key. I used to stream like 4 days a week, some weeks. But it's easy to get burned out if that's the case. And so personally, I just find like this cadence one to two times a week is what I can do right now. So I try not to get burned out on the stream stuff, but that being said, I still draw something most days, if not every day. And it's important to take breaks. It's important to take breaks as you go, so I would say be sure to take breaks. You know, and if you don't feel like doing it one day, that's fine. You don't have to. I feel like my camera is lagging. Yeah, that was super close. Hello, Supriya. Supriya says, It's over on Behance, if you're wondering. Sometimes I feel a little weird streaming on Behance because like people are usually doing digital stuff, which I can do. But sometimes I'm like, I wonder if people are expecting digital, you know? So as you can see, the ink kind of, with the contrast of the ink anyways, makes the marker go away. Just kind of what I was talking about. I kind of want to change the position of his leg, but I don't want to mess it up. You know. But yes, trying to be careful. Also, thanks for joining. It's your first time on the stream. Much appreciated. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to leave a comment. It's actually helpful if you do. Can you draw ellipses in all directions? Yes. Like I have my ideal spot. Maybe we'll do something with ellipses instead for the next section. I have the angles that work best for me, for sure. But eventually, if you draw with your shoulder and you like understand the principle, it's really easy. Or not easy, it's easier to draw. Easier to draw with draw in any direction. Sorry. I was trying to do two things at once here. Oh, thanks, Phil. You should take over my stream one day. Phil is my one of my old college roommates. I'm trying to draw without my hand touching the paper because this ink, as fun as it is, it takes time to dry. And so if I just put my palm down, I'll end up with a mess. And I don't want to deal with that right now. Maybe there's some sort of control surface mounted to this arm or something. Thanks, Introvert Doodles. Welcome back. So yeah, I like doing loose sketches. That's just my style. And maybe I'm just lazy, but I don't love spending tons of time on a sketch. Some people do though, which is totally fine. If that's your jam, your jammy jam. Can't do them horizontally. Okay, we'll do a little quick ellipse exercise next, and then maybe I'll do some sort of vehicle thing. Ah, yes. I've heard about the left-handed struggle. I don't think anyone in my family is left-handed now that I think about it. Like, none of my nieces or nephews, siblings. Yeah, I just was thinking about that. I was like, is anyone left-handed? I don't think anyone is. Oh, Adriana is left-handed. I had no idea. I don't know what space shoes look like, so. Who knows? I should have done this hand like kind of more forward instead of static like it is. Reason for that, like, you know, if you're exploring or something, maybe you're sticking your hand out a little bit. Maybe. Have to work right to left. Yeah, I'm working off, at least right now, just making sure my palm is not touching any of the ink here. I'm also just using cardstock. Last week I used a paper that was not very favorable to this ink. I was using just printer paper, right? And printer paper tends to curl up a lot. With this ink, so and this is just India ink, by the way, for those wondering. Come on, work. Work. All right, maybe there's a different pen here. This one's cool. It's like a super broad nib, so you can fill stuff in. It's kind of cool. I have to be careful not to overdo it though. Because it's tempting. Very, very tempting. But if you've got specific areas you want to fill in, it's kind of handy. So definitely handy that way. Do y'all ever use these pens or play with them? It's always good to kind of just mix up what you're doing, I think. So I'm in my dipped nib pen phase right now. Some things I had to learn to use with the right hand, like a mouse. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I can draw with a mouse. I learned to draw digitally using an Intuos pen tablet, and those are not very easy to use. Okay, they're just not. Not a tool. All right, I think that's it for the bold stuff. I may revisit. Thank you for your service, bold nib. But yeah, I'm definitely in my nib pen phase of drawing right now. It's just cool. It's fun. It's fun to do something a little different. And like I said, I have dipped. I last week, Gareth, when I was streaming, I totally tipped it over. So yeah, I'm being very, very careful this week. But I did tip it over last week. Hey VJ, what's up? Make a video in automotive design. Ah. I have plenty of videos with cars you can check out. I'm actually gonna do a vehicle next, so maybe that'll be applicable here. Hey Jess, welcome to Behance. I'm not the best at people or facial expressions, so I appreciate that. I really do. I mean, I've done them for like client work and stuff, but it's not like what I normally do, if that makes sense. So, appreciate that, Jess. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna do some sort of backpack here. I think. Like I said, I wanted to do some sort of propulsion system for this guy. Hold up, my phone's ringing. Oh, by the way, if you are a Patreon or channel member, you can get access to the music in the Google Drive folder along with sketches. I am behind scanning, I will admit, but you can get them. I'll make it a point to update that today. You have a glass pen, that's cool. Very, very cool. Like the barrel of the pen is glass, or you mean the nib is glass? I don't think I've seen a glass nib, so I'm assuming you mean the barrel or the body of the pen. I assume that's what you mean. So normally we do a weekly sketch challenge. I forgot to mention. Looks like the topic this week is old technology or analog stuff. I'm gonna leave it to Jordan and crew to do that. I'll probably do a little bit. Oh, even the nib is glass. That's interesting. So we'll be doing like retro tech, old tech. I guess we wouldn't really see as much of this weird pack. Glass blown. Interesting. Yeah, I've never seen that. Never ever. The nice thing about making your own music, though, is no more copyright strikes on platforms. So it took a lot of time to figure it out. Shout out once again to Paul Sohi, or Uria, aka Final Kaiju, not Koju, Final Kaiju, for being so patient and like helping me learn. I mean, I did a lot of work too on my own, just trying to figure out machines and workflows and all sorts of stuff. But grateful to him. I don't think he's watching, but hello, Louis. Is it Louis or Lou Art? The Sakura pens do give a nice finish, by the way. Just want to mention that. If you're a Sakura pen person. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the, I don't know if the right name is, it's not Micron, is it? you know the ones, at least people who draw with them. They just have really nice, rich, black ink. And oftentimes the pens you draw with will not have super, like, actually dark ink. I don't know what this landscape is, but I'm just sketching in some light stuff here in the back. As our brave adventurer explores. Oh, my legs are sore. Okay, so up next, I think I'm going to do a vehicle, something with lots of ellipses, because I had a question about ellipses. If you don't know what an ellipse is, just a circle viewed in perspective, sometimes referred to as an oval. There's rhyme and reason to them, though. It's interesting, too, because I'll see, like, illustrators do them, but you can tell they don't necessarily understand the why behind things. I think it's important to understand why. It just makes it that much easier to draw them. So if you're looking to sharpen up, stay tuned. I'll talk a little bit about ellipses. So this paper isn't even the best either, but this is Speedball Super Black India ink. I just ordered some more actually because I've been pushing through. Thanks, RB. I gave a presentation yesterday on digital sketching, and oftentimes I've found that students or people like new to sketching, they'll see their favorite artist or whoever using a tablet. And I think the thought is, well, if I have a tablet, I'm going to produce better work. But that's not necessarily the case. There are advantages to using a tablet, but I think the advantages come from actual, like, practice more so than the fact that you have a tablet, right? So if you're gonna invest in a tablet, make sure you're not just doing things that will give you or help you develop bad habits, I should say. Do I use different colors? No, not right now. I'm not planning on a different color today. If I were to do color with something like this, because I haven't tested it with my markers, and I don't think my markers would play nice with it, actually, so I'd have to scan it in and then maybe work on it digitally. But if anyone knows about that, feel free to share. I'm like all over this drawing. I don't know how y'all draw, but I'm always like all over the place. Got another drop there. But yeah, when I work on something, I'm like all over the place. Oh, nice, Gareth. That's why a tablet is superior. You don't have to scan your work. Yeah, there's just a lot of bad habits that you develop. And I've seen it in myself when, like, if I do a project that is digital and you know, I go back to then drawing on my, like on paper, I'll want to like pinch to zoom, or I go into it with the mentality of being able to undo or things like that. But also for me anyways, and this isn't, I'm not saying this is universal, but I feel like paper sketches just have a certain feel to them that you don't necessarily get with digital sketches. So, but like I said, I've just seen where you can develop some bad habits, and maybe I'm just old school. My age is showing. This is why I don't talk to people about NFTs either, because they'll be like, your age is showing. NFTs are the greatest. I'm like, okay. Just really condescending conversations. I used to talk about it online, but I don't really anymore. Anyhow, I digress. Hey Robert, are you the same way? Do you still do paper? I've seen your digital stuff. Looks awesome all the time. Go check out Robert's channel if you like sci-fi stuff, by the way. He's really good. I should probably use a paintbrush for this little section. Hey Latrice, what's up? India ink colors, or is it just black? Yeah, just black with the India ink is what I like to use. And then if I feel so inclined, I'll scan it in. The cool thing on that scanning note, by the way, the cool thing with modern tablets is they have cameras, and I talk about this in my digital sketch guide that's available, but they have cameras, so if you do want to sketch on paper and then work digitally, you can, which is really cool. I mean, back when I started drawing, if you wanted to take something digital, you had to have a scanner, and some scanners, in fact, there's one I still want, but they can cost thousands of dollars, right? So when I say thousands of dollars, I mean like the scanner I want is, I think it's like $3,000. It's the Epson 12,000 XL, I think. Usually you find them in like design studios and offices and stuff. I think probably the reason for that is, yeah, they're expensive, but it can scan like large sheets of paper. So with all the little cheats and helps and tools available digitally, if you don't have a good foundation on paper, you're actually not really helping yourself. Epson V750. Yeah, those are. Oh man, I've been wanting one. I can't justify it. Like I said, I just ordered a new laptop, so it'll be a while before I get anything like that. Okay, I'm gonna stop this before I keep going. I mean, there's more I could do here, but I don't want to just do the one drawing the whole time. So nothing beats paper sketches, says RB. We should fight. Can you do polls? Can I do polls? Let's see. Oh, I can do a poll. All right. Which do you prefer? I'm curious. All right. I'm asking the YouTubers anyways. I don't think I can poll on Behance, but let me know. I'd be curious. What y'all prefer. Yep, there's just something about paper sketching. I don't know. I haven't quite been able to express or quantify what it is in a cogent way, but there's just something about it. I mean, ideally I would here anyways. Stars or whatever's in the environment. I mean, this could be like some upside down Stranger Things environment for all we know, but why not scanner apps? You can do that too if you want to. It's up to you. I'm just getting old, all right? I'm just getting old. Leave me alone. This year is a big birthday for me, okay? And I'm trying to deal with it and accept it. Okay, looks like our poll here, 50% of people say, wow, most people say paper so far. Keep those results coming in. I'm curious. All right, I'm gonna give a quick little primer on ellipses here. So, I think to understand ellipses, you have to start 2D. So we'll start 2D and then we'll go 3D. All right. So, if I draw a circle and then draw a box around that circle. Some of you have seen this before. I'm going to get 4 points of tangency there. And I can also divide my circle like so. There's other ways to do this too. All right. And so what I'll end up with is now 8 points because these diagonals are intersecting the circle. All right, so if I can draw this is the beginning of understanding things in perspective. For example, you can draw a square in perspective. We can translate our circle, and the square can be observed with different eye level, right? So this one's a little bit lower than that one, and so on. Let's try to do this a little skinnier. Okay. And you can move up and so forth. So what I'll do is just basically copy this whole system here. This is actually it's a good thing I'm doing this because I have to teach this this coming week. So I'll have to sharpen up my lines here. So If I translate these points, 1, 2, 3, 4 points of tangency, and look at the relationship here, not exactly a third, but I like to think of it as a third, just as a reminder, about a third of the way in. All right, 75% of people so far like paper over digital. All right, so if I kind of just rough in a third all the way around, what you end up with is your ellipse, just like that. All right, now if you're dealing with a vertical surface, it's a little bit different, but the principle is sound. I'll show you. All right, so side of a square. This is not going to be totally accurate because you got to be able to draw the square properly. And I am... Okay, these two pens are driving me crazy. Goodbye. Goodbye, pens. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, third, 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 third. And we should get a nice ellipse. He has a little bit off there. Now, interestingly enough, if this is the center of the ellipse, right, what should happen, so this is off, it should be something like this. What should happen is the center of the ellipse is going to go to the vanishing point, okay, and 90 degrees to that, it's not the same as the diagonal, but 90 degrees to that's going to be your major axis, all right, no matter what. So let's do it on another piece of paper here.
Life is simple. All emotions are beautiful.
Had to go for digital, but I'm torn. Yeah, I have all sorts of tools, and I just love it. So, all right. So if I have this pen is driving me crazy today. I need to refresh my pens.
All emotions are beautiful.
Seriously. All right, there we go. So if I have a face like this,
Simple. All emotions
it's square in perspective. My ellipse is going to look something like this. Okay. And so if I divide this ellipse in half, so we want half and half, this line should go to the vanishing point. And 90 degrees to that, okay, is going to be the major axis. Now this is important because if you can draw a box around anything, you can pretty much determine how the ellipse on the surface is going to be. So I'll give you an example. If I just take these points and move them out in perspective and draw a new box, like so, what actually happens in perspective is I get an auxiliary vanishing point. That's going to be a vanishing point below the corresponding vanishing point. And I can do the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, third, 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 third. Maybe I should do this with a different color. So now my ellipse is going to look something like this. All right. So actually, that's not the middle. It should be something like this. Okay. You want to take the narrowest point of the ellipse. So in other words, my vanishing point is going to be somewhere down there. But from the center, it's going to go down like so. And then we have our major axis, which will be somewhere in there. All right. So if you understand which way the face of the, or which way the surface of the ellipse or that would represent the ellipse is oriented, it's a lot easier to know how to draw it. Okay. You can take this a step further. So here's an ellipse. This is my major axis. And then this is my minor axis. The minor axis here is always going to go to a vanishing point, right? So with 2-point perspective or even 3-point, you're going to get a vanishing point to the left and a vanishing point to the right and a vanishing point down here. So if I want to draw an ellipse like so, I kind of know how to draw it. I know that if I draw the ellipse this way, right, it's on a face that's pointing toward the other vanishing point. So it wouldn't be correct to have a shape like this. Unless, I mean, there's an exception here in the sense that if from the side view you're drawing something like this, then it would look like that in perspective. Okay. So that minor axis from the center of the ellipse is always going to go to that vanishing point. Looks like paper wins, 80-20. Thanks, everyone. Not that it was a competition or anything. I was just curious what everyone likes to see or do. All right, where was I going with this? So it makes it easy to know which way to orient the ellipse, all right? The other component of this is understanding what your relative position has to do with the size of the ellipse. So if I have a perspective system here, so all of this, like, you know, when you see me do a quick car, I'm thinking about, or I've practiced this enough that I know which way the wheels should go. Okay. So if I have a line like this and a line like this, okay, I know how to draw my ellipses. But I want to show you something here, and that is if I have a face located here that I want to put an ellipse on, and let's say I have a face located here that I want to put an ellipse on. Okay, this ellipse is going to be more open than this ellipse. All right. So as you move back to the vanishing point, your ellipse is going to be more open. All right, that has to do with the degree. So this would be like a 90-degree ellipse, you could say, looking directly over the vanishing point. Obviously, we wouldn't draw the circle like that. It would just be a point at that point. So the further I move this way, skinnier that ellipse is going to appear. All right. The same happens when you're dealing with this orientation. Right, I have an ellipse like this. As I approach the vanishing point, this ellipse is going to look like a straight line and open up. Okay, I'm not being as careful and technical as I could or should be here, but you're going to get a progression, and you could draw the planes around each of these circles and calculate, and you'll see this kind of relationship. So 0 degree all the way down to 90 degree, okay, which is going to look just like a circle. So 90 degree ellipse, 0 degree ellipse, 5 degree, 10, 20, 30. So that has to do with, you know, if my eye is here, am I looking slightly down, relatively speaking, you know, this 5-degree angle, or am I looking up? And at what angle am I looking up or down? And that's going to determine how the ellipse looks. So to answer Adriana's question, yeah, I can draw an ellipse any direction, right? So if I need to draw it like that, or like this, or like this, or like this, because what I'm thinking about is this minor axis, and what is my relative position of the face. Let's see, I'm not even going to attempt it here. But what's the relative position of that face that's circumscribing or encapsulating the ellipse? And that's going to tell you how to position and how to orient it. And then as far as how open, it's that idea of relative position. Okay. All right. Let's do a concept vehicle of some sort. I haven't seen the Batman yet. Has anyone seen that? Is it good? Is it worth watching? I think this time someone was giving me a hard time on TikTok. They were like, I like your sketch, but I would have used pencil. So let's use pencil. Let's use pencil today. The idea is the same though. Light till you get it right. Do an underlay, do your overlay or ink work on top of that. Now I don't know exactly how I want this to look just yet. But I'm thinking like some big wheels of some sort, like some weird large wheeled vehicle. This is why I say maybe I'll codify this saying now and say it's, for me it's principles over process. So if I want to work light, I can do that in a variety of ways. It doesn't have to be so I know this ellipse, for example. So you notice that, oh, you can barely see. Let me switch here. Maybe you can see a little bit better with my over shoulder. All right, so I'm just roughing this out in pencil right now. It's a great 2-hour movie, but a bloated 3-hour. Okay, good to know. Hey, Russ, what's up? So if you hold your pencil about halfway up, just loose. This was a hard one to explain remotely. I'm finding in the pandemic it's really hard, because I used to do workshops in person, and it's hard to say, hold your pencil or pen like this, and it'll feel right. You kind of have to feel it out yourself, right? So even this ellipse, right? Center line. Yeah, I want this thing to feel like large. Large and weird.
I don't know her.
Trying to think where I'm gonna put the actual like cockpit or whatever.
Yeah, bruh.
Just doing some tread here. Actually, let me think. I'm trying to figure out where I want to put, like, where people might be sitting in this thing. Like I said, I want this to feel enormous, like some type of earth mover style, just enormous thing. You know what movie does a great job of that? Dune. Dune does a really good job of just having some radically different vehicle designs. I think my kid's playing Apex Legend and freaking out again. Apex Legends. I always say this, but I wish I had more time for games. I just don't. Hello, Prithviraj. So like I said, I'm posting stuff on TikTok now. I'm still posting on Instagram, don't worry. Some people were like, we can't watch you on TikTok in our country, and I was like, well, I'm still posting on Instagram. Just you gotta go where the people are, so to speak.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I never really draw with pencil though, so fuming because she was so bored of it. Oh, Dune, really? I felt like I wanted to see more, and I know they're doing a sequel, and I get it. Apparently, it's a really long novel series, so it'd be hard to kind of cram it into one thing, right? So I get it. A lot of people didn't like the new Matrix movie either, but I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's as good as, the first one was when the first one came out, just because it's hard to replicate. I'm going to change this tread, by the way. But it's hard to replicate character development and the newness. So I totally get that. Yeah, I've never read the books. I'm not a huge reader myself. I've never been good at the books, the reading. What time is it? I have a podcast I have to do today at 2:00, so I gotta give myself enough time to recoup. Just a tip, by the way, if you like sketching stuff like this and you want to get good at sketching stuff like this, you've got to sketch stuff like this. So, in other words, sketch construction equipment, and get used to details or elements that you might find on construction equipment. And that's going to help you have ideas about what to do and how to do them and all of that stuff. Just a sec. Hey, Ollie. I'm streaming, so if you yell, it's not being very respectful, okay? Profound hatred for Matrix 4. Did you talk about it in one of your streams? That's amazing. Profound hatred. What up, Alex? I'm not sure which Alex this is, though. I have friends named Alex, so... in family. Alright, I'm gonna ink this up. Should I do some marker? No, I'll do some marker on it first, and then I'll ink it up and see where we land. Maybe I'll do some colors, too. Maybe. Profound hatred. Are you into the Marvel movie stuff, Robert? Or no? Okay, let me test these colors. This is a rare instance in which the... Okay, interesting. Normally Copic does a really good job of representing, like the color of the plastic represents the marker, but this 15 is actually darker than the 13. So, always test your markers. Always test them markers. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a bio break here. But I'm gonna do this in markers. Or with markers, whatever. Big sucker for Marvel. How did you feel about the Eternals movie? Because I know a lot of people didn't like that one. I'll get some marker down here and then I'm gonna use the restroom. Don't worry, I won't take you with me. Oh goodness, I made a mistake. Alright, let's see if we can fix this. I think I'll be alright. I'll just fudge it as I get to the bottom here. Hey, Applejacks. Do I sketch on darker paper? Sometimes I do. Feels a little gimmicky, so I don't typically do it. Actually, I think this will work. Keep the marker a little bit looser here. Keep it loose. Grey goose, got your girl feeling loose. Restroom sketching on stream. No. Bad Robert. That would get me banned from YouTube permanently. And I would lose like tons of subscribers. I bet. Stayed away from Eternals. Oh my goodness. Background of a wood chair. Knowing myself, I would probably do... I mean, it depends on the wood. But knowing myself, I would probably pick like a teal or like a light blue. Because I feel like it would complement nicely. So I'm doing the marker first here because with the India ink, the dipped ink that I'm going to be using, I don't know how it's going to react with with the marker. Like if I were to do the... All right, Robert, take care. If I were to do the ink before the marker, I don't know what's going to happen. So it's just a little bit safer doing it this way. Because if I do the ink first and then, you know, start putting marker on and the marker starts bleeding, that's not a pleasant experience. All right? Just going to say that it's not a pleasant experience. What's your field now? Thanks for the well wishes. Thanks for stopping by. Someone on YouTube said they used to be product design student. So, just curious what you're doing now. The older I get, the less like a product designer I feel. I feel just more like a creative human in general. So I've kind of shied away from the term a little bit, but you know, the skills, the things we learn in ID, industrial design, can apply to a lot of different things, so that's cool. It's like there's an Instagrammer I follow, a friend of mine, John Fry. Reminds me a little bit of the type of stuff he does. In terms of subject matter, his style is totally different. All right, I'm just gonna get some general toning here. So because I'm using like a cardstock, this is Bristol board, but because I'm using this, it has a tendency to let the markers dry back in intensity. So to get my intensity back up, I have to... Oh, you're a barber now. That's dope. I've been thinking about what's the word? Expanding my skill set, doing some other things. I'll just say that. So mad respect for doing that. That's, you know, making a pivot, change like that in life can be a big deal. Can be a big deal. Yeah, it is still creative, for sure. Did you? I'm curious. Did you like go into it, you know, just fresh, or did you have some skill going into barbering? Because that's a big leap. Like, I make music, but I'm not quitting what I do for work. You know. Started learning in lockdown. Oh, okay. Well, mad respect, man. That's amazing. Props to you for that. So yeah, now that the marker is in, my colors are there. This is how I would do it anyways. Because I just don't know how the markers would interact with this specific ink. Now I can go back in and add some details or whatever I want to do here. Alright, man. I will. Some of the songs you've heard on the stream, if you've been here for a while, are ones that I've made. Some are from my friend Puria, aka Final Kaiju. He makes good stuff. He made this one. Looks like a Mario Kart car. Well, I don't play Mario Kart, so I don't know what you mean, but I'm glad it's bringing you some joy. Yeah, that's my vibe, chill lo-fi. That's what I do. So this next series that you'll hear are ones that I made. All right, let me check in on the Behancers. What's up? Thanks for joining. Don't want to ignore y'all. I'm watching chat on YouTube as well as Behance, just FYI. So if you're wondering what's up, that's what's up. That's what it looks like without the intense overhead light. So someone was asking, like, how do you, what to practice? Things like this, where you have a cylinder intersecting a flat shape, knowing what that intersection is going to look like, you can only know that if you practice. Okay, so when you practice the basics, it's actually preparing you to be able to draw more complex things. So don't underestimate the benefit of those exercises. And I messed up. That's all right though, I can cut that piece off. Starting to feel like I'm running on fumes, so I may wrap this a little early. Go get some lunch and some rest. thought about doing like a music live stream, but I don't feel like I'm good enough for that yet. Like if I were to do it, people would just like leave after a few minutes. Like, oh, I'm getting out of here. This is weird. All right, let's power through. I can do this. I can do this. We're gonna power through. No quitting. Just move a little faster. Let's go. Yeah, I've really got to solve this lighting situation. So it makes everything look weird. Spencer ain't no quitter. I'll at least get the first half done. How about that? But I'm just starting to get... See, I didn't even take my bathroom break. Didn't even take my bathroom break. Hello, Zachariah. Zachariah. I'm being very lazy with these rims. Very, very lazy. I was looking back at some old streams when I started. Not really started, but when I quit my job and decided to, be online more and see what would happen. Studios changed a lot. Shows changed a lot. I've changed a lot. Crazy. It's always fun to look back. If you're not looking back and laughing at yourself, you're not really growing, right? So thankful to those who've given feedback or contributed. People like Latrice, so shout out Latrice, Lori, Tom, Derek, Applejacks, Jordan for holding it down as a mod. Doing it for the love. Much appreciated. It's crazy. This year we'll make Will that be 3 years? Kind of wild. Like when I quit my job, my boss was like, "Are you sure you want to go do stuff on your own?" I'm like, "Yeah. You made me want to do this. I hope you're watching right now." Not mincing any words. But that was one of the best things I could have done. Just making that change. Getting out of corporate life and betting on myself for a bit. It's been good as a full-time single dad. Be able to kind of do what I love, but also be there for the ones I love. Oh man, I was working corporate too. It was definitely was a butts in seats kind of company. Like if you weren't in your seat doing whatever, even if you had nothing to do, it was like a big deal to my boss. And then the pandemic hit, but I actually quit before the pandemic. But it's funny now that everyone's like all about remote work, or at least they were. I don't know if that's changing. But you know, I like working in my kitchen. I like working in my bed if I want to work in my bed. Just being where I want to be. It's a good feeling. I think that's when we're the most creative too. When you can be yourself, you can be relaxed. You know, no pressure. That's right, Stephanie. No quitter. I mean, I was going to quit, but I'll just finish this enough. Yep, micromanaging. I was micromanaged by more than one boss, and I hated it. Or reporting to people that you know. And I don't say this in a conceited way, because this was just reality. When you know more than your boss about your job, and they're the ones that come to you to ask you questions so that they can look good in their meeting. But then at the same time, they don't want to recognize you or support you in the ways that you should be. I had enough of that. Had enough. So, do what you love, man. Life's short. Do what you love. That's my message for you today. Find your passion, do what you love. Let the rest work itself out. I would rather be happy than rich, personally. I know not everyone's the same, but when I say that, I mean have my needs taken care of. I don't mean that's not important. Certainly it's a lot easier if you're rich to have your needs taken care of, but man, that comes at a cost, you know. It's like I don't want to be in that position again. Hey, Arnav. Yeah, I've had bosses that would literally sit next to me and watch me do stuff. Truth be told, I think I likely have or had undiagnosed ADHD or something, based on conversations I've had with people and describing what it's like to be me. Yeah, it sounds like you might have this. I need to go to my doctor and check it out. The reason I say that though is it just made it that much harder, I think, in the corporate world for me. I would always work backwards from deadlines rather than getting stuff done ahead of time. It's never my jam. Yeah, no worries. You can catch the replay, Arnav. You can catch the replay. I appreciate you popping in. It should work that if you subscribe and turn on the alert, it'll let you know when I schedule a live, but also when I go live. And you just have to make sure the emails or whatever is not going to your junk mail, not your junk. And then you won't miss stuff. At least that's on YouTube. On Behance, I don't know if it works similarly. I'll have to look into it. But if you enjoy this stuff, you know, drawing with pen and paper and chill vibes, happy little tank or whatever, yeah, definitely hit subscribe, leave a comment. That's actually super helpful in terms of YouTube and discovery. Even if you don't like the show or you think this looks like a Mario Kart car, just leave a comment. Say, hey, that looks like a Mario Kart car. I can do better. And then make a video. Thanks, Adriana. Take care. I'm almost done. Make a better video and then I'll watch it and learn something. Hell yeah, let's do it. Oh, if you're following me on Behance, you get a notification. Thanks, Gareth. I wasn't aware of that. Good to know. Yeah, the live interactions are fun. I agree. Well, have a good day, Adri. I'll see you, what, next week? Not this week, next week. All right. Let's see. I think I've got enough with this pen done. So, yeah, I've got enough done with this pen. Almost done. And then I'm going to use the fatty pen. Diagnosed as an adult. Constantly thinking. For me, it's like I'll wake up and I know I want to go to the gym, but then I'll just get super distracted by all sorts of stuff. And time feels more slippery, or just really slippery, I should say. So I am gonna go in and get that checked out. Alright, I have to clean this nib up later. So after the stream, I gotta go feed my children. Do a bunch of other stuff. Alright, so just a little black over this marker. I think the ink dried on this a little bit, so it's feeling a little rough here. See if I can clean that up. I got another spot. Oh no. Stephanie's probably thinking, ha! You got spots. If you're working digitally, you could fix that. And I'll just say, fine, you're right. so that looks a lot better. Arnav has the Discord alerts too. Oh, too busy with time zones. Gotcha. Well, that is tough. I'm sorry. Double tape to tape a piece of paper to cover it. Yeah, I could do that. I'm not worried, like, it's not a big deal for me. But mostly because I have a lot of different ways I could cover it up if I really wanted to. Alright, so there it is. I like, what would you call this? A lowrider tank of some sort. I'm gonna do a light shadow, like a really light gray. Really light gray shadow there. And of course we gotta stamp our stuffs. Man, shout out to Lisa for this stamp. Maybe I'll stamp it over here. Every day. I might need a new ink pad. All right. Well, thanks for hanging, everyone. It's been a pleasure. Did a lot of stuff today. Talked about ways to practice. Switch my camera here. There it is. I'm going to set this off to dry, but there's our lowrider vehicle. I'm going to put this off to the side to dry. We did talk about these exercises. Talked about ellipses. Okay, a little bit of the sauce, the reasoning behind the sauce, I should say. And also kicked things off with our astronaut here. My paper curled a little bit, so, but did our space dude. I guess I should stamp this one too. What's the story behind the tattoos I have? One of them is a cephalopod. Yep. I don't put a lot of thought or meaning into them, to be honest. There's a few, I would say. So, this one has meaning. This is duality, time, and knowledge. 3 things I like to remind myself. That's my mom's middle name. Don't steal her identity. There's a cephalopod. And then I have a pencil right there. It says onward and upward. It was a mantra I would repeat to myself that kept me here as I was getting divorced. I'll put it that way. Had to stay grounded. So onward and upward. And then I've got an infinity Ouroboros of a snake that says hold to the good. And then I've got another shoulder one that says grow through what you go through. It's a bunch of roots and stuff, and a heart. So all right, well, thanks everyone. It's been fun. Remember, as I always say, passion is the process. Be kind, rewind. I never say that, but if you've learned something today and you can teach it to someone, you're gonna be better off for it, right? It's important to know what you do, how you do, why you do it, and a great way to do that is through teaching. Thanks and shout out to the patrons and channel members. Much appreciate you and your support. As always, I will upload the sketches, check out the music. I'll be doing a weekly or an update this week about life, and some interesting things happening for the patrons and channel members as well. Follow me on TikTok if you haven't yet. I'm trying to get to 1,000 people. If I can get to 1,000, then I can live stream on TikTok, which is kind of what I want to do. But I'm also trying to show more behind the scenes life stuff you wouldn't find otherwise. Still posting to Instagram and Facebook, don't worry. I know some of you can't access TikTok. But I'm trying to get to 1,000. So if you can help me do that, awesome. That is my plea for you today. All right. With that, much love. Take care. Have a happy Sunday. And I'll see you next time right here on Sketch Day. I'm going to take a nap.